Hey, hi, and welcome to A Taste of Fusion. Today, I'm making a fantastic aubergine sargal salad. Following that by a rasam risotto, and for dessert, a carrot payasam fusion. Well, basically, what all that means, it's completely South Indian and it's vegetarian. But now, I've got to pick up my veg and fruit, get back to the kitchen, and get fusing. Okay, now to get started with our South Indian vegetarian menu. Well, they're very keen on aubergine, and that is our vegetable of the season. So what I'm going to do today is take what's known as aubergine sargal, which is usually a curry that's made with a lot of yogurt, a lot of spices, and of course, because South Indian food traditionally is quite soupy and brothy, we are going to fuse it, do a little number on it, and change it into a glorious dry salad which is lovely, spicy, and has a glorious dressing with it. To get started, I've got my oven dish over here, and it's all very, very simple. Now, over here I've got some aubergine. I've got the white aubergine and regular purple aubergine that I have cut up. I'm just going to pop it into my oven dish, and there are about 6 of them that I've chopped. In this goes. Next, I'm going to spice this up, and I'm going to spice the aubergine up first because they tend to be like little sponges, and you want to get your flavors in there so they start taking them in before they go in for the longer cooking process. So 1 teaspoon of red chili flakes, 1 teaspoon of onion seed, 1 teaspoon of mustard seed, 1 teaspoon of red chili powder, 1 teaspoon of salt. Right, next I'm going to use a little fusion right there, some extra virgin olive oil, and I'm going to coat them really well. Alright, so this is nicely coated with the olive oil. Then for another little fusion piece, I've got some rice vinegar here, and I'm going to add this in, only as a sigilant. Next, just mix it up quite well, make sure everything is coated, including your spices. Now, everything's coated well. Next step, I've got here some coconut, dried coconut, and I'm going to put in about 3 tablespoons of this right on top. And of course, dried coconut is an essential, or coconut milk in fact, is an essential in South Indian cooking. Alright, so my coconut's on. Give it another mix. There we go. Next, a key component, which are whole red chili flakes. I'm going to take a couple and I'm going to place them around my dish. And why? Because I want them to sort of take in all this flavor that the aubergine will release, the vinegars, the olive oil, and the coconut itself. I don't want to overpower this dish with the red chili flakes. I want them to be part of it. So I'm just going to put them around the sides. Next, here I have some sliced tomatoes. Well, I've quartered them. I'm going to place them again. I'm going to sort of close in the aubergine as though they were in the center and this was the moat around them. So that's about 5 tomatoes there. The next component, which is also a key component in South Indian cooking, and that is tamarind water, or imli ka pani. And that is an essential, but we're not cooking this in a large quantity. We're just coating this as though it were a marinade. Okay, and now let's just punch this salad completely through and through. I have some jaggery here, or gur, and I'm not going to put too much. I just want to sprinkle a little bit, because the tamarind needs this to release its own flavors, and I think that that is the amazing thing with tamarind, that you have to add chili and sugar to it for it to actually take its effect on the food. All right, I'm going to douse this with a little bit more olive oil to make sure everything's coated well. And then just a pinch of salt from the top. I'm going to squeeze in the juice of a quarter lemon. And then I have here some local garlic, which are very, very small pods. And these usually go into sort of chutneys, or they're pickled. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop them on the top like so, and let them pickle and create this glorious, glorious salad. All right, so we are ready to pop this in an oven. Now your oven should be preheated at 180 degrees, and this should go in for a good 25 minutes. So in it goes. Okay, so our aubergines in the oven, they're going to be in there for 25 minutes, and now it's time to make our main course. Right, now for our main course, which is a take on rasam and rice. Now rasam is basically a very sour dal. What I'm going to do today, however, is make a type of rasam risotto, and here we have a fusion of a cuisine, secondly of two different types of food coming together, and tons of flavor. Okay, so first things first, let's get our pan on a high heat, and very quickly into our pan we are going to pour in some olive oil. 4 tablespoons of olive oil in our pan. Done. Next step, I've got some green dal here, or green gram, and I'm just going to put in about 1 cup straight into my pan. Now I'm going to fry this up for about a minute. Get the dal well coated with the olive oil. And straight into this, I'm going to pour in a little bit of sort of coconut rice vinegar. Of course, that's a little fusion of sorts because that's a Southeast Asian flavor coming together with a South Indian flavor. Alright, so my dal's fried up and it's become quite puffy, so at this point I'm going to put in 1 cup of rice. Now my rice I've just washed. I'm just going to put in an equal amount to the dal. Again, it's all about the aroma. Once you smell the dal, you know, the grams frying up, and you smell the rice flavor come up together, and once they start cohesing or fusing, that's when you know you've got to add in all the different ingredients. I have here some onion. I'm going to put in 1 onion that I've thinly sliced up. Pop that in there. Some of those little garlic pods, and I've got about 10 pods that I'm putting in, simply because I want them to, again, act as a chutney, and there will be a cohesion of flavor or a bridge of flavor for my appetizer down to this. Fry this in, mix it all up. Next, 1 tablespoon of ginger that I finely sliced up again, in that goes. Once your ginger is in and you fry that up a little bit, we are now going to add the spice. Now I've got some onion seed here. I'm going to put in 1 teaspoon of onion seed, half a teaspoon of mustard seed, 2 green chilies sliced up, and about 6 whole red chili peppers. I'm going to stir this up thoroughly, very vigorously, because you want everything to fry quickly and you want, you know, the smokiness to be captured in the rice. So once you've stirred this up, next step, I've got some tamarind water, or the imli ka pani right here, which is essential in rasam. And I'm going to put in about 7 tablespoons of this. I'm going to mix this in, and very quickly, because it'll stick to the bottom, I'm going to pour in half a cup of water. Fantastic. Once the steam dissolves, just turn the heat up, because you need to keep the same pressure of heat going. Once you've added the water, and keep stirring till the water dissolves, very much like the stock that you would put into risotto or cream that you would sort of, you know, introduce there. So my water is dissolving. I've kept the heat on high. I'm just going to turn it down slightly. And of course the rice has started fluffing up, and my onions have got this lovely pink translucence to them. Okay, so now the water is dissolved. Next thing, I'm going to add in some yogurt. I'm going to put in about 4.5 tablespoons of regular yogurt. Now to this, once I've added the yogurt, I'm going to pop in, let's clean a spoon, I'm going to pop in about 3 tablespoons of dried coconut, which of course is the ultimate fusion in this. Mix it all in. Make sure it doesn't stick. You must keep stirring. Give it a couple more stirs. And then we're going to add in about 1/4 cup of water. And once the water's in, give it a stir and add in the juice of 1 lemon. Stir it all in. And if you find that your rice has begun to stick, just turn the heat down, don't worry, and add in about 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Right, so now the lemon, the yogurt, and the water have been absorbed. We have to add in about a quarter cup more to finish the process. And at this point, I'm going to put in 2 more tablespoons of tamarind water. There we go. Mix it up. Okay, so I've added in the water and the tamarind water. Now, all I have to do is put the lid on, make sure my pan is on a low heat, and let it cook, after which it will be done. And next, it's time to put together dessert. Right, okay, now for dessert, which is my take on something that's known as carrot payasam pudding. Okay, so pan on a high flame, and then olive oil. Unlike this dessert which has ghee or clarified butter that's going into it, I'm going to use olive oil. Here we go. Coat the base of my pan really well. Say about 3 tablespoons worth. Next, I'm going to pop into this 2 carrots that I've sliced up in julienne strips, like so. Now, of course, when they're cooked in payasam, the carrots are diced and they're cooked over a long period of time, almost a bit like gajar ka halwa or carrot halwa that we make traditionally. Today, we're just going to focus on using coconut, condensed milk, and some gur in this dessert. So let's fry up the carrots first. And I want them to start caramelizing and releasing their own flavors. Now, to blitz up this process and get the carrots to cook a little bit quickly, we want to induce a little steam. And for that, just a dash of water around the sides. And there we go. This is a great trick in caramelizing. Just add a little water in, or a little vinegar, or a little milk, and that steam will help the vegetables cook about 5 times faster. Next, I'm going to add in some gur, or some jaggery basically. So 2 tablespoons of jaggery. That's all for the moment. We will add a little bit more in later, but we want to cook this in a process, in steps. Right, so the minute that you smell that glorious honey, sugary smell coming out at you, that's the jaggery that's coated the carrots and of course aided the caramelizing process. And next step, what you add in is some evaporated milk. I'm just going to use half a tin of evaporated milk. Already the carrots have started giving their color to this glorious dessert. And let it evaporate even further. Okay, once this is almost done, we're going to add in about 100 mils of water, just to slow it down. Stir that in. Make sure you take everything from the sides so it's not, doesn't burn and stick to the sides of your pan. Now, because we've got to act very, very quickly, I have here some dried coconut, and I'm going to put in about 4 tablespoons worth of this. I'm going to stir this in. Right, so now the coconut has absorbed in most of the evaporated milk and clung to the carrot. I'm going to add in the rest of the can of the evaporated milk. So, and do this, something extra and a little delightful, some condensed milk. 3 large tablespoons of this glorious stuff. Right, so stir in the condensed milk. Now, I'm quickly going to add just another 150 mils of water, just to stop the condensed milk from evaporating too much. So let's stir it in. Next, I'm going to take half a packet of cottage cheese or paneer, and I'm just going to add that in to this lovely dish. Break it in, mix it up, and it's going to be a glorious fusion pudding of so many different sorts. Now, we're not done. Because we only added in 2 tablespoons of jaggery before, I'm going to add in 2 more. And finally, in the end, a handful of cashews. Make that 2, why not? Mix that in. These lovely carrots sticking out. Take everything into the center, turn the heat off, and voila, you are done. Now all we have to do is plate it all up. Right, we are ready to eat, and I have been joined by the sublime and legendary Seema Kirmani.
Oh, thank you for
saying that. Thank you so much for joining me, Angie, and gracing my table.
I'm looking forward to your food.
Thank you so much. Angie, let's get started. This, as we were discussing, is, and you very rightly guessed, is aubergine.
Yeah.
And we've got the two different types of aubergine in there, the white aubergine and the regular purple.
Okay.
And what I did is I based this on aubergine sagal, which is a South Indian dish.
Okay.
So please give it a go and tell me what you think.
Very nice.
And what do you think of the flavors?
It's delicious. I mean, it's not exactly what I know as South Indian, but that's what is interesting about your food. That, I mean, you're creative with it. I like the mildness of it.
Right. Which is interesting though, because if you think about it, I've put in really killer spices in there and I grilled the aubergine.
That is what is nice. That's what makes it light, not heavy. So it's
Thank you so much. And now we shall move on to part 2. There we go.
And that looks lovely. So this is rice.
Yes, this is
dal.
Well, it's a sort of risotto of rasam,
So
which
again
is
a creative dish, huh? Your invention.
I had to impress you somehow.
I'm very impressed, Poppy.
And let's give it a go, and please tell me what it is.
Oh, wow. It's very nice. Because it has a flavor of our khichdi.
Yes.
And a touch of the South Indian and a touch of the Italian, right? So fusion at its best.
Thank you. Fusion at its best.
Wow, it's wonderful.
It's
really
again
nice.
Thank you.
Very nice. What I'm enjoying is the unusualness of it.
Oh, well, I think that is the best
Both
compliment
the
I
dishes,
could get.
the aubergine as well as this, they're both so different. Lovely.
Thank you. Thank you, Jean. But are you ready for dessert?
Already? Can't I have some more?
Of course, of course, of course. Right, now that the compliments are coming my way, I am really excited. This
again looks something different.
It's somewhat like our gajrela.
Yeah.
I have changed the process somewhat. I've made a stir fry out of it.
Oh.
I've added in a number of different things. I've kept the carrots long.
Yeah.
I've added in gur.
I love the idea of the gur in it. I think that's brilliant. Because I think the sweetness of the gur, is especially for desserts, is something that, you know, the sugar
unique. Exactly. Absolutely.
Giving you too many compliments, but this is absolutely brilliant. Because it's the rawness of the carrot that really gets
it.
Yeah.
And it's not overcooked.
It's not overcooked, so you can actually feel the texture of the carrot and enjoy the flavor.
You hit the nail on the head. You hit the secret, what I was going for.
Thank you. It is delicious.
Seema ji, thank you so much
for
coming on
Taste
of Fusion.
To eat this food.
I'm truly honored, and I have to say, I think I cook my best food for you. I think you should come on the show all the time.
Absolutely wonderful, and I'm very happy to come again.
Oh, thank you, Ji. Thank you so much. And thank you guys for joining us. Remember, if you want to see me fuse something or have any comments, write in on fusion@dawnnews.tv. From Seema ji and myself, thank you. Take care. Khuda Hafiz.
And thank you, Poppy. It was absolutely delicious.